Okay, let's do the pre-flight check. Audio, input capture. Go. Camera 1. Go. Charts. They are a go. Big head. Big head here. How you doing, friends? This is Ernie, trader of futures. PatternCast. PatternCast. Today's episode, today's live stream, as you can see, is titled, well, all of them are titled Trading Bitcoin because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about trading Bitcoin with signals that are generated from an advanced pattern recognition technology. That's great. That takes care of half the primary part of our trading acumen, our statistical analysis, pattern recognition over the entire lifetime of the asset we're trading, in this case, Bitcoin. Of course, PatternCast is also applied to many other markets. We have a traditional PatternCast that handles futures, Forex, and stocks, and equities, and ETFs, and things like that. And this coming week, we're going to be introducing a precious metals version of PatternCast, where we have a very aggressively priced service that is all PatternCast, but it is focused specifically on precious metals. So, if you think that might interest you, let me know. But in any event, it's really designed to go out there and find those people who are precious metal wonks. And it'll include futures and as well as ETFs and stocks, miners, that sort of thing. All right, getting back to what this is about, trading Bitcoin. PatternCast for Bitcoin. It's such a great match. What PatternCast does for us is it gives us an incredible edge. But even though you have that edge, that wonderful edge, that does not in of itself make you money. When you're in a trade, if the edge gets you into a trade, the PatternCast, the signal gets you into a trade, you have not made a dime. I don't care how far it's gone into the profit. You have not made a dime until you realize that trade. What does that mean? Realizing a trade means that you exited it and you either took a profit or a loss, hopefully a profit. We're not so focused on the loss part because, quite frankly, PatternCast gives us so big of an edge that we don't have to focus on the loss part. As a matter of fact, we can look at the loss part as just another trade. It's a throwaway. When you're dealing with a system that has better than an 85, 90% win rate, you still need to focus on a lot of stuff because even with that kind of win rate, I've seen people lose. And of course, you want to be able to maximize your profits and the potential that you have in a trade, right? I mean, obviously, everybody wants to do that. You want to maximize your potential. So here's the deal. There are certain things that you need to put into your arsenal, into your skill set. And these aren't things that will come to you like that if you're new to trading. If you're not new to trading, I'm sure a lot of these things you already know or just have not really concentrated on them because you are so concerned with the other part of the trade that you never got to the part where you can just focus on managing your profits. So that's what we're going to talk about, managing your profits. And the very, very first thing that you need to get under your belt, and this is something that actually comes with experience, and that is situational and market awareness. All right? So what does that mean? Well, they're two different things. First, you have the situational awareness, and that is, what is your current situation in this trade? How much do you have committed to the trade? What is your break even? That's including not only the multiple tranches or positions that you've taken and then average them out, but also including the cost of getting into that trade. So you have to make sure that you understand that once you've figured out, your entry point and then looked at your size and done the calculation, and you can give yourself your break-even analysis, your break-even point, then you have to add into the commission, because that's going to be an additional amount of movement that you'll have to go just to break even. So you need to understand that. And of course, with all of our trades in most platforms, it works on the FIFO principle, first in, first out. And so you may have an initial position that's underwater, but then a second position that is profitable, and you're thinking, man, I want to take that profit and then hold on to the other position, but that's not the way it works. If your first position is in a loss and your second position is in profit, and then you want it happening in your platform, strictly an accounting thing. All you really care about is where you are relative to your break-even point. That is the only thing that you really care about. So developing that situational analysis of your positions is very important. The other thing that's important is the aspects, the criteria of the trade itself. Where was that entry point? How big of a position did you initially put in when you felt that, hey, it's time for me to get into this trade? Do you have a plan for what a full-size position is, what you're going to put in for your initial position, which should be a fraction of your full-size position, and then where you're going to add should the trade go against you, or if the trade goes with you, right, where are you going to take initial profits? Now that may sound a little weird. You may think, well, would I take profits if we only move, say, 25% of the trade? You might. If you have a fair amount of volatility in the market, we could come down and hit that 25% in profitability, and then it could move up to negative 25% profitability. Wouldn't it be great if you recognize or had an awareness of the volatility in the market and made that decision to take that initial 25% profit, let it come back up, and then re-enter the trade? Remember, our trades can last up to 4 days. Sometimes we get a trade that will do everything that we wanted to do in the very first day. Those are, that probably happens about, I'd say, 50% of the time, 40 to 50% of the time. Fairly high percentage. But the rest of the time, we're moving, it's volatility, it's doing this. So let's say that you get in here, you have a short, and your target's down here, right? In here, target here. Price move, you get in here, price moves down, but it's moving down like this, all right? And then there's a snag here, it just can't seem to get it. It looks like it's going to start coming up again. Well, maybe you take a little bit off the table. It comes back up, maybe you can add to it again. So it comes back down, you've already made some profit, you've locked in some profit, and maybe you've doubled up on your position, or you're at a slightly more aggressive position. You have to have that kind of awareness of what the type of volatility that you have in the market. I'm not going to give you any particular standards, but I use the average true range to see what kind of a range that I have for each individual candle at that particular time in the market. Are we in a low volatility or a high volatility period in the market? And in what time frame are we talking about? The other type of situational analysis that you might want to make is volume profile. Volume profile is pretty important because you want to see where price is relative to the nodes that are in your profile. And if you haven't already studied volume profile, let me suggest that you go to PatternCast.com/replay and pick up my on-demand course for volume profile. It's the same course. It's only $39, and it's the same course that I've taught people for $500. It'll give you an overall view and a trading strategy and huge situational awareness, market awareness through that. It's about a 2.5-hour course. Invaluable. So you're in the trade. You see where the volume profile is. You come down to an edge of a value node, and you know that there's going to be severe support there, good support, likely to move back up again and then before it comes down again. Hardly anything when it hits support goes through it for the first time. Also, depending on at the rate at which it approaches, that'll make some difference. Again, these are market awareness things that you'll develop this sort of intuition for. Are we coming down fast? Is there a lot of volume? Are people piling in? Are we teetering on the edge of that volume node? Has it broken through? Can I expect it to start moving down quickly? Or has it found support and likely to move back up a bit, gain some momentum, and then take another shot at it? These are all parts of managing your profits. If the trade goes against you, do you have a plan for where you're going to add to that trade? Now, why would you do that? Well, when you have the knowledge that 85% of your trades are going to end up in positive territory at some point, then you can be reasonably confident that if it goes against you, then you're going to probably want to add to that trade. And even if it never actually makes it all the way down, you could get into a trade in such a way that you could take profits without it ever re-entering into a profitable zone and still be profitable on that trade. It's possible. So I have a trading strategy, a way of adding positions to my full-size position size. I chop everything up into what I call five tranches, and then I use what's called a modified martingale way of adding to my trade, where I have the 5 position size. First position is 1/5, second is 2/5, third is 1/5, fourth is 1/5, for a total of 5/5. Then I have to figure out where I want to put them. Again, where you put those entries is very important. Now, if you come down and you're in profitability and you decide we've hit support and you think it's going to come back up, you want to take that 1/5 off, let it rise up and add the 1/5 again, or maybe you add the 2/5 at that point. You can do that. Also, knowing the overall statistical performance of your strategy is pretty important. And I've talked about this a lot in PatternCast. I've put out some basic numbers that everybody should be aware of. Now, I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin. I'm going to talk about traditional markets, which has slightly less performant, but very comparable to Bitcoin PatternCast. So I'm going to use that, which is even less performant, but should still be a good guide. 85% of your trades are going to end up profitable somewhere within that zone. 70% of them are going to reach at least 70% of the target, or more. 65% of them are going to reach 100% of the target or more. 25% of your trades are going to reach 90%, 95% of your target or more. All right, those are important numbers. There's also the average trade in PatternCast reaches almost 200% of the target. So knowing those things, wouldn't it make sense for you then to take intermediate profits? Now, there's another thing here, managing the time that you have in the market. The less time that you have in the market means the quicker you've taken profits and the more time you have for re-entry, or the more options that you have for re-entering the market at a smarter position. If you took profits and then it just kept on going in the profitable zone, and now it's running away and you missed out on that, it's no big deal. It isn't any big deal. Don't suffer from that FOMO, because with a system like PatternCast, you know that the next day you're going to get another opportunity. Just be happy that you made some money. Oh, by the way, do you like my new hat? It's my new hat. the shirt is coming. Hopefully this is helping. Yes, Sean, new uniform, but not the complete uniform, just the hat. This is just my my Black Dog hoodie. Black Dog. All Eyes says, I caught a nice short on the pump last night around 87.40, riding it all out to the 7,300 target. That's that might be a good strategy. I hope that works out for you. I didn't get that entire pump, but I was able to get as high as 86.50. So let's take a look at that trade that we took. Now it's 2.5 days ago. We have 1.5 days to go in this trade. So PatternCast gave us the entry of 85.07. I had an average entry. I had one that was just below that at like 84.95, and then another entry at 86.50. So I had a pretty good position on those two. I missed this pump last night. That was an opportunity, but it happened so fast that that was a hard one to capture. But now that it's come down below here, we're well into profit. We're well into profit in this trade. And of course, our target is way down here at 78.12. Now, will it get there? I don't know. We're going to give it up until October 13th, UTC 0, or that's the end of October 12th. That's it. Once that date comes, we're out of that trade. Should another trade not already, I mean, we might get a signal tonight that gets us out of this trade. You don't know. We don't know. But right now, there hasn't been another signal that has gotten us out of this trade yet since we entered it. We've had 2 signals since then. Actually, 1 signal and 1 non-signal. Actually, both of them were non-signals, weren't they? And that's one of the beauties of PatternCast. It gives us non-signals sometimes. And that helps us stay out of trades, or gives us pretty good confidence to stay with a trade. Coffee is essential. Crazy manipulation last night. Unbelievable, actually. I suspect that is whales out there trying to compete with one another, trying to blow out all of those shorts, liquefy all those shorts, liquidate all those shorts, and pick them up for themselves and get in at a better position and then drive the market down. It's a beautiful thing. But it shouldn't be something that should surprise you. It should be something you should expect. Expect manipulation. Expect it, be prepared for it. In this case, I wasn't. It was kind of late or early, as the case may be, late. So I missed out on it. But that's okay. I was already in positions, and I'm nicely in profit right now. Now, according to PatternCast, this trade, let's take a look at the stats in this trade. This is all part of situational awareness and understanding this trade. Hold on, let me go to the trade. There it is. Just a minute. I'm going to bring it over. To the charts. So this is the email that I got. And we always provide a little bit of a narrative around that trade. And the trade that we got into is right here, the short. Now, in this particular case, on that day, we got 2 trades. One, these are what-if scenarios. If price had gone down, we would have taken a long. If price went up, which it did, then we took a short, which we did. Now, this particular pattern ADEHJLNPRT. I have no idea what that means. We don't care. It is one of hundreds of patterns that we've applied to Bitcoin. In the regular markets, we have thousands of these things. Thousands and thousands. But anyway, it found this pattern and saw that it had a pretty darn good potential of about 700 points. And that pattern had occurred 13 other times with 12 winners. A total of 700 points with a very high win rate. These are the types of things that you want to have at your, that you want to concentrate on when you're taking trades, that in order to know that you have an edge. You know how the system performs. Let's see. You know how the system performs. You have statistical information on the setup. You know that you have an edge for that particular. You have an edge with the system altogether, and then you have a trade, an opportunity, which is giving you an edge. And so now I know that about 90% of the time I'm going to reach about 25% of the target. Where is 25% of the target? From 85.07 to 85.07 to 78.12. Hold on. I'll tell you in a second. So we take 85.07 minus 78.12. 85.07 minus 78.12 divided by 4. That's 173 points. So we take 85.07 minus 173. So 8334 is 25% of the way. Just about where we're at right now. That move right there in PatternCast trades happens 95% of the time. All right. So let's look at the most popular one, and the one that we're usually shooting for. So the 65% case, so the one standard deviation move, is at 8,044. All right? So that level right there happens 65% of the time. In this particular trade, in all the occurrences that we've seen, so let me show you here. I've put these lines in here. The first line, which we've hit, that's 25% of the time. The second line down further is 65% of the time it would have hit here. All right, so there's more situational awareness. So within this time frame, there's a pretty good probability that we'll hit or come down another 300 points. Ernie, do you ever just make one entry, and is that one entry often profitable? Yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes you get into a trade, and then almost right after you get into the trade, it goes right down to the target, and sometimes goes beyond. That's happened several times. And yeah, it'll be profitable. It won't be as profitable as I had hoped, but it will be profitable for sure. Or is the layering strategy best recommended because usually the perfect initial entry is not ideal? It depends on the situation. Like I said, sometimes it goes all the way down through the target almost right away and just gives us exactly what we want. Sometimes in those cases, what I'll do is when it's moving that fast, I'll actually add to the trade on the way down. Because it's not going to be a straight shot. It'll be pretty much a straight shot. But if it's going down fast enough with enough force, I might add to the trade as I'm going down. Tony Hatcher, is your system going to be fully running next week? Sure, ready for some Forex signals? Yes. The answer is yes. From what I understand, we should start getting a lot more signals tonight. Tony's asking about the traditional PatternCast. We've gone through upgrades in our system. Warner James, would you publish a weekly P&L statement of your trade account to back up the words? No, I won't. And there's a good reason for that, basically because our broker partner doesn't want us to. Because we can get in trouble for doing it. Actually, I can, if someone has interest in it, I can send out that. But right now, the Bitcoin service being so new, I don't have all the information yet. Probably won't compile it until the end of this month. But if you've been following, and when you say back up your words, you're obviously new to this, and I understand that. But I've been broadcasting these trades now for a year and a half. And people have seen exactly what I've broadcasted. So, you can go back and look at different trades. You can go back, look at a trade about 2 weeks ago that I actually did live online. So if you want to see it, I can give you some information, but you have to contact me directly. That's the best I can do. Our broker partner literally said that they don't want us to put no proof of trades, no thanks. Well, that's your loss. I don't care. Not so or no so. See you later. Go tell all your friends that there's no proof of the trades, even though I've said right here, right in front of you, I need the big head, right in front of you, that I've literally posted the trades online here in this show on a daily basis. Yet you want, because you can't get a spreadsheet all neat and tidy, you say no go. Even though I've shown winner after winner after winner after winner, live most of the time, winner after winner after winner, that's not good enough for you. You can't help. I'm not going to say it. That info is for privileged, aka members. Not necessarily. I'm just not allowed to post it on our site. That's all. I know that sounds crazy, but we're one of the very few services out there, probably one of the only services that you ever have come across, that has a broker partner that is supporting us and is willing to make us a third-party advisory to their business. Now, I don't know if you understand what that means, but it means that they trust us to be compliant with SEC and CFTC rules and regulations. Oh, Alan Sturber. Canadian dollar PC made a nice profit this morning. For real. That's true. That is very true. So anyways, managing profits. Now, hopefully you've been taking notes. I think that All Eyes says he's been taking notes. And this has been informative for you. Yeah, I'm using restraint. I'm trying my best. I almost swore at that guy. Almost, but I held it back. Because, when someone says, well, you don't show me the performance, but damn, I show it every day. Every day. I don't know what else you have to do. Can you share how you think Bitcoin price will behave in the next years? Jose, I have done that many times. I've done long-term prognostications. I don't know what value you'll get in that. I've often said that I believe that the long-term projection is if you had taken a linear regression channel from the very beginning of Bitcoin time up until the present day and look at that slope. And I've shown that I believe by 2020 will be around the average, or the mean average will be the best fit regression line should be around $9,000 in 2022, I believe it was. So that's the best I can do. Now, what will happen in between there? It might go way up. It might go way down. I don't know. But that is something that I've stuck with. I can show you how I would do that. So I suppose if I took a weekly chart. Now this only goes back to 2014. What exchange goes back to 2009? Would Bitstamp? I don't know. Yes, Bitstamp goes back there. Well, it goes back to 2013. All right, well, let's do 2013. Let's see how that works out. Oh, it goes back to 2010. We don't need anything quite this big. Let's extend the line. So this is how I would do it. So if I project out to 2022, we'd be around $9,200. So that's probably the most accurate way that you can look at this. Now, if we go down for a period of time and stay down, that will lower. If we go up, then that may start rising a little bit, and the projection will be a little bit higher. But that's about the most accurate projection that I can give you long term. Excuses in a rant triggered by a basic investment question. I don't know what that means. Excuses. What excuses did I give? I have no excuses. There's another troll. I have very little patience for trolls. I'm trying so hard not to yell at somebody here. You have no idea. Sean says, so much to learn about trading. Ernie has taught me well and continues to teach. Great video today. Never thought of taking profit and then jumping back in. Cool. Brave New Coin. Ernie's tracks BTC initial date. I didn't see Brave New Coin there. So, okay. We're about 36 minutes into this show. It's about all I have to say for today. Hopefully this was informative. And, if you have other topics that you'd like me to talk about, just let me know. Please go down, hit the like button, and share this on your social media. And we'll see you next video. As soon as I find the off button, stop streaming. See you later, folks.